Happy Thursday evening. It's about 9:30 p.m. West Coast time. I've been thinking a lot about the people that are involved in what's going on right now. And I read another article about some other law firm that's capitulating to Donald Trump. And these law firms that are capitulating to Donald Trump, they're doing so because big parts of their practice involve mergers and acquisitions. Companies are merging, companies buying each other, and the lawyers get paid on the back end of those deals. They get a percentage, so they get paid when the deal is complete. And for a lot of these transactions, a lot of these mergers and acquisitions, it requires approval from the Federal Trade Commission. It is sometimes they're subject to governmental antitrust scrutiny. There's a lot of areas where Donald Trump's people can fuck with these deals, and then these lawyers don't get paid. So these lawyers explicitly, law firms with long, storied, principled histories, sold all of that out for money. Flat out, period. Sold out for money. And one of the firms, it's several names, but the first two are Paul Weiss. That was the first firm to cave to Donald Trump. And that the history of that firm was founded by Jewish attorneys over 100 years ago in New York, when other law firms would not hire Jews. And so they started their own firm. And they built it into one of the top 5 firms on the East Coast. It's a global firm, it's international, and they have a reputation for being some of the toughest, smartest litigators that you can get your hands on. They are some of the best lawyers on the planet, and they fight well, and they fight smart. And they caved. And one of the founders of that firm went on to become an absolutely legendary judge in the Southern District of New York, Judge Rifkin. And his name is in the name of the firm. And just an absolutely legendary attorney and legendary federal judge. And he wrote a set of principles for the practice of law. He wrote a set of principles for his firm that he helped found. And every single fucking thing that the partners in that firm are doing now violate those principles. Selling out for money. And it completely disrespects him, his memory, everything that he stood for, his entire life's practice, his entire life's work. It denigrates the rule of law. It denigrates the practice of law. It feeds into the absolute worst stereotypes about lawyers and money, selling out a lifetime's worth of principles so that you can get a fucking second house in the Hamptons. It's disgusting. It's just absolutely disgusting. And, seeing firms like that and Skadden Arps and these just legendary firms just bend the knee to this authoritarian wannabe dictator piece of shit, convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, fraudster who still owes the state of New York over $500 million, whose firm, whose company, the Trump Organization, was found guilty of 17 felonies related to fraud in 2022. A man who is barred from operating a foundation, a charity, because he and his two sons stole $2 million from kids with cancer. And these storied, respected international firms with history, and they're bending the knee to this fucking guy? This fucking guy who is destroying any concept of democracy, democratic rule, constitutional republic in the United States, and they're doing it for money, of which they already have plenty. It's fucking gross. It is gross and disgusting, and I hope that this act of capitulating to Donald Trump becomes the sum total of their reputation forever. From here on out, forever. I hope that is the lead sentence in every article about any of these firms. Paul Weiss, who capitulated to Donald Trump, a convicted felon and adjudicated rapist. Skadden Arps, who capitulated and bent the knee to Donald Trump, a convicted felon, fraudster, and adjudicated rapist who destroyed democratic rule in the United States of America. I hope that's the first sentence about every single one of these fucking law firms for the rest of the time that they exist on this planet.